Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
Right now, plows and tow trucks are getting ready to make their move again into the downtown area. More than a dozen people woke up this morning to find their vehicles towed to clear the way for plows.
And whether it's downtown or somewhere else in the city, Valley News Team's Katie Opperly explains what you can do to make sure you don't get towed.
Snow removal can be tricky if you don't pay attention. Prior to Sunday night's first assault downtown, the city of Fargo sent out a notice saying vehicles would be towed so snow could be removed Monday and Tuesday mornings. 16 car owners didn't take action and were towed.
I was just coming up to see a couple of my buddies, and I decided to stay the night over at his house instead of my brother's. And this morning when I was about ready to go back to Wahpeton, I looked outside and my car wasn't there, and I was wondering if it was stolen.
Noah Peterson's car got the hook at 3:30 in the morning. He says he and his friends had no idea what the city was up to.
I'm wishing that there was more details, like a sign maybe put up in the area or something like that, or better communicated.
The ordeal wound up costing Peterson $120.
When we figured out it was towed, then we kind of got a little upset, me and my friends, because we just didn't know what was going on.
Becky Borg at Fargo Moorhead Towing says people need to pay extra attention to winter parking rules. That includes alerts ahead of time by the city.
Downtown, I think they just really need to pay attention to when it snows, get off the streets, or look into the newspapers, into the news reports, the websites, and find out what days they're going to tow.
Borg says do your homework if you're parking downtown, because this isn't the first time and won't be the last time it will happen. In Fargo, Katie Opperly, Valley News Live.
Everything you need to know about parking in Fargo is posted online, and we have a link posted for you. Just check out the Valley News Live app.
A Bemidji woman is awaiting sentencing after pleading guilty to 2 counts related to child abuse. Karen Ganetta was arrested last year on charges of abusing her 20-year-old daughter who has special needs. On October 2nd, investigators responded to Ganetta's home and found it covered in trash, animal urine, and feces. According to court documents, her daughter's health was so bad, first responders reportedly weren't sure if she was alive. They eventually detected a breath, but then found bruises all over her body.
It seems like she has no remorse for anything that she's done. She hasn't asked about her daughter. She hasn't asked if she's fine or anything since they've been separated.
The victim has gone from 90 pounds to 140 pounds since October, according to her dad. Sentencing for Karen Ganetta is February 3rd. She remains in the Beltrami County Jail.
A jury has convicted a North Dakota man of shooting and killing his 36-year-old daughter during a family argument. Jurors convicted 66-year-old Stephen Awney of manslaughter. The sentencing date has not been set, but he could face a maximum of 10 years in prison and a $20,000 fine. Awney was originally charged with murder, but his defense attorneys argued that the shooting in May of 2019 was unintentional.
The city of West Fargo is looking at possible 3 or 4 lane sections along 9th Street East, as well as full medians and better signal pedestrian crossings. The ideas are part of a study involving the 9th Street East corridor from 13th Avenue East to 12th Avenue Northeast. City engineers say tonight was about putting options forward and hearing back from the public.
Whether the comments are negative or positive, we really want the input and the buy-in from the public. I feel that if you don't engage the public, you're really going through with tunnel vision.
Tonight was the final public input meeting for that study.
North Dakota Attorney General Wayne Stenjum says the company Gorman General Contracting has been running a scam in the oil patch, using intimidation tactics to force victims to pay for shoddy construction work. The AG has issued a cease and desist order and says 11 people are facing charges of fraud.
10 North Dakota communities will use part of a settlement with Volkswagen to build electric vehicle charging stations. The Department of Environmental Quality will send $2.7 million to the local governments and businesses for clean vehicle projects. That includes 17 charging stations statewide. All but one are fast chargers, meaning they can charge vehicles in about 30 minutes.
An epilepsy diagnosis shook a North Dakota couple's world last year. Kate and Wyatt Black's otherwise healthy 18-month-old Britta suddenly started having seizures, which meant her parents started frantically searching for answers. She's doing well now, but it was a terrifying time for her parents.
Everybody deals with something. This is just our something that we deal with, and she's doing great. So It's been a surprise to see how many people were really moved by what we shared. So with that, I was happy to continue sharing more things we've learned and just make more people aware of what's going on around them.
Kate says if you notice your child, a young child, spacing out with no recollection of the time span, or your child suddenly becoming severely fatigued, you should talk to your doctor.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. inspired millions of people throughout his life. His message of inclusion and serving others continues to make a difference around the world.
His I Have a Speech Dream, I Have a Dream speech is critical to that legacy. Our Washington correspondent Jillian Angeline has a behind-the-scenes look at how that famous speech came to be.
MLK, he was a very integral part of, African-American history. He's the reason why many opportunities are afforded to people that look like me.
Marvin Pierre is a junior at Howard University and part of the fraternity Alpha Phi Alpha.
His I Have a Dream speech definitely resonates with me.
It was here at the Lincoln Memorial where Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. gave his famous I Have a Dream speech. But it was down the street at the Willard Intercontinental Hotel where Dr. King crafted a speech hours before delivering it to 250,000 people.
One of his most historic visits.
Janet Scanlon, senior marketing manager at the Willard, says Martin Luther King Jr. sat on these couches in the hotel lobby and hammered out the speech with his advisors. I spoke with Dr. Clarence B. Jones by phone, one of Dr. King's political advisors with him that day. He told me he paid bellhops to create a secluded area hidden with plants in the lobby so King and his advisors could work together uninterrupted. Jones says he drafted the first paragraphs of the speech based on weeks of discussions. Then King retreated to his room to put the finishing touches on the famous speech.
Our account is that he worked through the night to try and finish it.
Today, visitors and guests can walk the Willard's Hotel and Museum to learn more about King's historic visit.
They want to know where he sat, what room was his floor on, did he eat here?
The King family sees the Willard as a special place in history. They hold a private event each year at the hotel to celebrate Dr. King's legacy. In Washington, Jillian Angeline, Valley News Live.
And on this holiday, the U.S. Navy has now officially named its newest aircraft carrier, the future USS Doris Miller. It will be the first aircraft carrier named for an enlisted sailor and the first name for an African American. Dory Miller, saved the lives of his shipmates and then fought against Japanese forces during the December 7, 1941 attack on Pearl Harbor, bravery for which he was awarded the Navy Cross. Miller was the first African American to receive that award. He also has the frigate USS Miller named for him in his honor. He gave his life for his country when his ship was sunk during a battle in the Gilbert Islands.
Valley News Live 10 at 10 continues with No Wait Weather.
And thanks for joining us on this Monday evening. A wintry scene here in our Valley Skycam looking toward I-94 in South Fargo. Plenty of snow on the ground there and still bitter cold for this evening. I expect the bitter cold to hang around through tomorrow morning before we do get a bit of a reprieve from the cold moving into tomorrow afternoon. Right now at Hector International Airport, -4 degrees air temperature, -23-degree wind chill. Now notice the south-southeast winds at 13, so that's giving us that wind chill. But the south wind is actually bringing warmer air in to our neck of the woods. So I do expect temperatures to rise slowly as we go through the overnight as that more mild air moves in. Satellite and radar is crystal clear. Got to go all the way to, say, Towner County up toward the Devil's Lake Basin and out toward Williston before we see some more organized cloud cover. And with that being said, things are pretty quiet as there's no precipitation in any of those clouds. Single digits to negative single digits across the board. -6 in Fergus Falls and Wahpeton as the cool spots. -4 this hour in Valley City. -3 up I-29 in Grand Forks. The wind chills, though, still around -20 for most of us with a -28 wind chill right now in Halleck. -26 in Grand Forks and Valley City. So if you're out going for a late night walk, definitely still want to cover up any of that exposed skin as frostbite can happen pretty quickly in those spots with those -20-degree wind chills. So notice the hour by hour, the south winds, those little yellow arrows look to warm us up through the overnight. So by 7:30 a.m. bus stop time tomorrow, lower teens in the Devil's Lake Basin, single digits across the rest of the board, positive single digits, mind you, as that south wind looks to warm us up. Toward lunchtime, maybe a few wafting clouds there through lunchtime, but those winds do stick around, and those could be gusting to 30 miles per hour at times. So could see some blowing snow in a few locations, which could cause some reduced visibilities and some slippery spots on some roadways, especially out in the open country. But those south winds continue to warm us up near 20 right tomorrow at lunchtime in Devil's Lake, upper teens in Minnesota. So you can see those clouds kind of wafting through. South winds continue through the 3 o'clock hour. On the ride home from school, temperatures about 20 degrees warmer than they were to start the day. Could even see some areas, especially out toward the west and south, near 30 degrees by tomorrow afternoon. So not a bad day at all, especially as those temperatures warm into the 20s and even low 30s in the warm spots. I expect by this time tomorrow, the winds should subside and temperatures will not get nearly as cold tomorrow night as they will be tonight. So your hourly forecast here in Fargo, you see those negative or the positive single digits to start the day with some clouds around, but the south winds around 20 miles per hour continue through the entire day. But those look to warm us up into the low to mid 20s here in Fargo by the afternoon. Your hometown forecast shows the best chance of those 30-degree temperatures is down toward Jamestown, down toward Aberdeen, where that warmer air is, and then even down toward Sisseton as well. So our Southern Valley does have a shot at seeing just grazing that 30-degree mark tomorrow afternoon. Here's our photo of the day. It was called Bella Taking a Walk. You can see having a great time there in the snow, the little pup there. This is from Upper Cormorant Lake. Thanks so much, Casey, for sending in the beautiful wintry scene here to ValleyNewsLive.com. The two-day planner shows that things stay mild for the next 2 days, up near 30 almost on Wednesday. But look at that overnight temperature Tuesday and Wednesday, 19 degrees. So no need to plug in the block heater here moving through the next couple of nights. It's not till Thursday that a weak cold front brings the chance of some snow showers, mainly in the Southern Valley, so not too impactful here. But that does cool us off on Friday back to around 20. But the weekend looks really good, 20s and 30s, both Saturday and Sunday.
Good to see it's ahead of us. Thanks, Nathan.
Yes. Spring has sprung then? Are we going to declare that
I'm not going to say spring has sprung yet, but I'll say we have some temperatures we can enjoy before spring.
Go, yeah. Up next on Valley News Live 10 at 10, President Donald Trump's impeachment trial will begin with a clash over the rules.